Let's take a few minutes and talk about the church and the importance of the church that has been in our family lives. First of all, we're just so grateful to have a solid local church to be a part of. Had no idea the importance of that when we wandered in a couple of decades ago. But looking back, to be involved in the church and our commitment to that was another one of those you got to do it kind of things. Like we would be remiss to not strongly encourage every parent to make sure you're involved, jump in, be a part of church, go on Sundays, show up early, stay late, go to First Wednesday, be in groups, serve, be a part of it, Saturday prayer. You know, we just dove all in. I mean, we definitely would get a blue ribbon, I think, of jumping into the church. And again, it was because we were so hungry. Our family was out of order, and we wanted change.
Yeah.
And so we jumped in and...
So we were both raised in the church. We knew the Lord, but we both were born again at Church of the Highlands.
Right.
And when we got born again, it was like, we are going all in.
It was game on.
And Pastor Chris gave us the 1-year challenge, and we just sat down and said, okay, we're doing every single thing that the church offers.
Right.
I mean, we were at small groups every night. We were at Bible studies as much as we can. It was as much as we could be involved.
Right.
We were. And the kids, they were just all a part of it. I remember when we had Wednesday nights, Maggie was in kindergarten, and KK, like I said, was 3 and 6. But I would check Maggie out of school. And because I was like, you need a nap because we're going to go to Wednesday night church.
Right.
And she was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I mean, I get to miss school because I'm going to go to church at night, but I knew it would be a late night and I wanted everyone ready to go.
Right.
And so at a very young age, we just said, we're going all in, and they're going to be a part of everything that we're involved in.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you mentioned the 1-year challenge, and I would say that we've taken the 1-year challenge now
Every
almost
year.
20 years in a row.
Yeah.
And so to those who have been around a while, make sure there's that level of just enthusiasm and commitment. And to that end, I think a parent's attitude on church is going to flow into the child.
Yeah, it'll transfer.
And we can't say our children were like jumping up and down every single moment, and there were times when we encouraged them, and because it kind of frustrates me personally when a child will say, well, I don't have a friend to go with me, and the parents say, oh, okay, and then they bail out and they don't participate in something like a city group or a motion night or these amazing opportunities. We have taken each child at one time or another by themselves and drop them off at an event without a friend.
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Right.
And we would say, look, God's got something great for you. We're praying for you. We're praying for your friend. And they can't say they all were jumping up and down at first, but every time, without fail, God did something.
Yeah.
And so that's an encouragement. Stay committed to the local church. Be a part of it. Get to know your student leaders that lead City Group, and be an involved parent. And it's going to pay dividends. And what it'll do is it'll create these spaces for you to have conversations with your child about how they're doing and what questions they have. And then you can pray together about it. It opens the door. So you got to be committed to the church.
Yeah, well, so what we did is we would get the information of what conferences were going to be that year and what nights they were going to have certain things for the kids and for us, like marriage conference.
Yep.
We had to put that on the calendar because if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And motion conference. Oh, my gosh. That was like our kids' favorite conference of the year. I remember we were out of the country, and we flew back a day early.
To go to motion.
Changing in the airports and, planes, trains, and automobiles to get to motion conference. They did not want to miss it. Yeah. And but anyway, so we would always plan our vacation. We'd plan our everything just around the church, really, because when there's so many things the kids can do. There's so many things we can do. We can fill up our calendars with so many things, but the very thing that lasts and that we have found that has been, gosh, such a cornerstone and a solid rock, which we know is the Lord, but it really has been the local church, and to raise our children in the local church
is a gift.
It's just been huge.
Right. And really, I think if you were able to talk to our children, they would tell you some of their biggest or greatest encounters with God weren't sitting with us.
Yeah.
they were at church events. They were at motion conference and motion nights and at city groups. And that's the beauty as parents. We have this resource. We have this programming, if you will, that we can help our child be a part of. And so just know, as a parent, all of hell is going to come against you getting your child involved in church. Don't let it happen. And just make that commitment, and it works.
And one of the things that we all know, one of the greatest human needs is to be needed and known. And we learned that fairly early on. And so one of the very first things we did when they got in the 7th grade was send them through the growth track. Because we wanted them to confirm that what we've raised them in, what we believe, and how we've chosen to lead this family, that they would choose for themselves. They would have a choice. So anyway, they went through the growth track. They discovered why their gifts and their talents, and then we got them plugged in to serve. They've all served in different areas, whether it's in Highlands Kids or as a greeter,
small group leader,
parking team. I mean, they've done it all. And it was just so great because people knew their name. They were living on purpose. And then I'll tell you, they all went off to college. And what did they do? They got involved in their local church. Our son in Clemson, he's got a local church. He's leading small groups. I mean, it became their life. And they saw the value of being in the local church. And really living out their purpose and staying connected to the one who will really sustain them all the days of their life, and that's the Lord.
That's right. And I love what you said, Colette, about purpose. You know, the purpose game is a big deal as parents, that when we can help our child discover a gifting, a passion, and then operate and walk in it, now they're being fulfilled. And we're not having to fan the flame. God's fanning the flame, and they're excited. They're the ones kind of leading the charge. And we were able to watch in different seasons each child really watch their faith become their own through these activities and through being an involved part in the local church.
So when our daughter Kaylin went through the growth track, she started serving in Highlands Kids, and then she was loving the worship, like leading those kids through worship. She came alive. So next thing you know, she's learning how to play the keyboard, she's learning how to play the guitar, she's wanting to be in vocal lessons, and then what does the church do? The church has a program to bring those kids in, train them up, give them that opportunity to serve in that way, and it was like, bingo. It's so awesome.
That's good.